issues concerning young people. So over the years, one of the situations that people have found puzzling is how the numbers in teenage pregnancy keep skyrocketing, and people are doing their best on every side to help curb the situation. Today, we are going to discuss how gatekeepers can also contribute to curbing teenage pregnancy. I have with me Mr. Umar Farouk to help me do the discussion. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are very glad to have you on the Young Voices. Your opinion about major factors associated with teenage pregnancy in Ghana.
To sail through successfully. Teenage pregnancy, like you said, is a canker. We all try to tackle the problem, and we get to the bottom of the issue. In my humble opinion, channeled correctly, it leads to something evil. Yeah. So I said ignorance is the major cause of teenage pregnancy. And to throw more light on that, like I said, every teenager is curious. Yeah. And frankly, we cannot actually stop the curiosity. We cannot criticize that curiosity because it's something instinctively is part of us.
Yeah.
However, we can criticize the fact that they are not taught the pros and cons of that level of curiosity and even how to channel the curiosity. So, for example, a teenager wants to know, excuse me if my language is a foul, yeah. Like a teenager wants to know what's the big deal with regards to sex and all that. Yeah. So if no one is there to teach that young child what sex is all about, then it's going to get it from the wrong people. And that has to do with peer pressure. Yeah. So someone would misinform. If someone ventures into something like an adventure, ignoring principles, he will surely land himself in trouble. Yeah. And no one is.
Some of them are in positions of power. I don't want to believe that when it comes to teenage pregnancy, most of the pregnancy just occurs consensual, like they consent to it. Because, for example, if a young lady has a teacher in school asking her out, it's wrong, and children to be very vocal and be very assertive. Very few people raise very assertive children. So imagine someone in school that has a teacher or a person in authority, after her. There is sometimes you feel like, oh, this is my teacher, so maybe he probably knows better. Or sometimes you feel like, okay, this is a person in authority, so the person probably knows better. At the end of the day, they find themselves pregnant, and then they are left on their own. So the question is it only parents? Because parents are not in the school, are they?
No.
Yeah, so should the burden be only on parents to prevent teenage pregnancy?
That's a very good question. I don't think that is, it should not solely be on the parents, yeah. The teachers, like you mentioned, they're agents of socialization. Yeah. So the teachers can also take part in this movement. The teachers can get involved and educate these youngsters with regards to the pros and cons, everything that has to do with their reproductive health. So like you made mention of something, and frankly, it's a reality. Sometimes they are innocent and they are being sexually harassed or molested. Yeah. So when something like that occurs, I think the parents should be more open, or the guardian of the teenager, the guardian should be opened enough so that the youngster can, because sometimes they are very naive. And if they realize that you are someone who is very, the hard type, you don't listen, and they will keep it to themselves. And if they keep such issues to themselves, definitely they will land in trouble. But if you are open enough, and then embrace them, let them be comfortable when they discuss issues with you, the parents. I think I'm emphasizing the parents because, that is where the child grows before any other institution. They're the first agents of socialization. Yeah. So frankly, if they fail, then the probability of other institutions failing is higher. But if they discipline the child so well, then the probability that other institutions are going to step in and then equip the child with all that, there's a high probability as well.
Okay, so if you just joined us, this is the Young Voices Forum, and we are discussing teenage pregnancy, the role of gatekeepers to help curb the situation. You can leave your comments and contributions in the comment section. You can also share this video so that
the madam said, go. I mean, do that for her. Because if you do not do that and she becomes pregnant, as a result, you will be blamed. Even though this is not, we don't promote something like that. But in certain situations, if you cannot engage the child in a way that she would understand that this is wrong, then you can go for an alternative that is still within the precincts of the religion. So sex education, I don't think is a major problem. It is a factor that can curb the problem, the canker of teenage pregnancy. Like I said, in the religious perspective, we will always have a way in doing everything.
Okay, so still on teenage pregnancy and going through the roles by which gatekeepers can also eliminate it. I am feeling very generous. I am feeling very, very generous today, and this is to say thank you for sticking around and waiting for us to come back again. So I am giving out my first airtime of teenage pregnancy. Okay. That is those that decide to keep this pregnancy. Do you think that if by their own free will decide that they want to get married to the person that impregnated them, it should be something that should be allowed?
Well, you see, sometimes we made mention of the fact that at that stage, some of them are really not thinking well. Some of them are traumatized. So sometimes stigmatization alone forces them into, wanting to be with that individual, so that they can identify that, oh, perhaps I had a husband or something like that. Meanwhile, that is not supposed to be the case. If you have genuinely regretted what you have done, then you should not be thrown away. The family should still accept you back. If you want to be with that person solely because you feel like your parents would eschew from their responsibilities, and now they want this, oh no, you have no problem, you can stay with us, then I don't think you should, the victim should jump into, wanting to get married at that early stage. Because if she has nothing to do at that time, maybe no educated, she has not reached the level where she has to be paid and all that, she will suffer the consequences. It has very evil ramifications, and I don't think it's actually a way forward, unless otherwise she's engaged and then she really wants to do that. She's so madly in love with that person that she thinks, if I'm not allowed to marry that person, and the person too should be responsible. Yeah, the person we should make sure that the one that she's getting married to is responsible, and if she can take care of her, if she's to the age of consent actually. But if she's not to that stage, then that means there's something wrong with her psychologically. So there is the need for initiatives to be taken to be taking place so that we can actually deal with these problems. So I think.
Okay. So teenage pregnancy comes with a lot of stigma.
Yeah, sure.
What do you think should be done with regards to the stigmatization of people that are teens that get pregnant?
Okay. So first and foremost, the environment. The criticisms usually come from, the religious folk. So if we are made to understand that anyone can be in that situation, if someone is involved in that situation, and I'm in the mosque praying, so even if I do not mention names, but the father is in the mosque, and I'm speaking so harshly on parents being so irresponsible that their wards get pregnant and this and that. So we are indirectly criticizing that individual. So that is not the way forward. So I think we should understand that this can occur to anyone. And sometimes you can take so much, you can put in so much effort just to ensure that your child does not go wayward, and she still does or he still does. So someone there is to understand that this can happen to anyone, and we should have organizations that accommodate these youngsters. For example, I don't want to be political here, but I remember Charlotte Osei. I think she had an initiative like that, where teenagers who are pregnant and then their somehow, I mean, how do I say, ostracized or what in the community, she began employing them into, I mean, paying back their school fees to go back to school, and also we can also do something like that just to disabuse the people that this is not that bad. It is bad, but not that bad. We do not criticize the person, but we criticize the act that she has done. Yeah.
Okay, so if you are still watching us, this is the Young Voices Forum, and we are discussing eliminating teenage pregnancy, the role of gatekeepers. You can also join the discussion. You can leave your comments in the comment section, your suggestions and your submission, and we would read them out because we would. So when it comes to teenage pregnancy, sometimes some families want to accept their children,
okay,
but due to poverty they cannot handle the burden.
Okay.
What do you think can be done for these people?
Okay, so they would want to cater for the child, right?
Yeah.
But due to poverty, well, I think the child could be enrolled in maybe in an institution where she would learn how to, you know, take care of herself. For example, she can learn how to weave or something like that, or she can be put in an institution where she learns something that will be productive. So if we cannot take care of them, then we should not, just because of that, we should throw out. No, we shouldn't do that. She can be taught how to be responsible by making her own money, establish a business, a menial business where she's being supported till it grows. I think this will be one of the ways that can actually help curb the problem.
So what do you think that pregnant teens should be allowed in school?
Wow. So that has to do with what the Constitution agrees to and what not.
Yeah.
So if the Constitution, I mean, says that they should not be, well, and we think that this is wrong, perhaps we could petition the government to rethink through. And if something is to be done about it, I think that would be it's not, there's nothing wrong. Okay, at the universities we know women who are pregnant, yet they are very intelligent, they are cooperative when it comes to studies, something like that.
Yeah.
So I think the reason why teenagers are not accepted into institutions because of their pregnancy, we think at that time they cannot cooperate. So maybe, but that's not true.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are indications that this is not true. So if solely this was the reason why they are not accepted, then that is a huge mistake.
Yeah.
But if there are other reasons, well, we could assess, and if we realize that that's not going to be possible, then I don't think there's something wrong with that. And if we say no, then we should have an alternative where they are still educated. I think if they cannot be accepted, then we should still have an alternative, maybe extra class or something, just to accommodate them. So I think this can be that.
Okay, so moving on, how can we improve the situation for girls and reduce teenage pregnancy?
Okay, so such can be done through, how do we say it, sensitization. Yeah, we can do that through education. They could be educated. The society, stakeholders should come together, proliferate the media houses, and talk about these issues more often. Educate the environment, educate the citizens that this is a major problem we are encountering. So if they are educated that this is the pros and cons and this is what it does to our nation, I think it can drastically reduce the illiteracy level, the ignorance level. Once it is reduced, honestly speaking, this, even if we do not curb the problem completely, but something will be done, that is still appealing. So I think, yeah.
Okay, so do we agree that parents should work hand in hand with authority figures to eliminate this problem?
Problem, yes.
Like from the home, the community, the school,
Yeah.
and the religious places.
Yes, I think there's a need for them to cooperate, to come together, to think, and then to brainstorm what are the problems, what are the underlying problems, and what could be done to prevent that situation. So once they come together, all these stakeholders, I think they say two heads are better than one. So it's gonna be more effective than one person trying to sort out all the problems and whatnot, or all the solutions and whatnot. So I think cooperation does work so hard in curbing this problem.
Okay, so we are gradually inching closer to wrapping up, but before that I would like to give out my second airtime. And if you are watching, it's still Vodafone. This is another Vodafone too, so if you are watching and you use Vodafone, you are in luck. So the numbers are as follows: 45 24 93 50 70 63 85. 45 24 93 50 70 63 85. So if you are watching and you got the airtime, please kindly let me know in the comment section, and I'm still taking submissions and comments. If you have anything